start our local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in the Inland Empire. Today we're joined by Jesus Holguin. He is a board member on the Moreno Valley Unified School Board, past president of the California School Boards Association. And recently you took a tour of some construction sites in Moreno Valley. What's being built, sir?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to be here
Of
one
course.
more time. Very excited about these visits to several sites in the Moreno Valley Unified School District. As you know, last year we passed the bond for construction.
Which is quite significant.
Absolutely.
It's a very important way for schools to improve their facilities. Needs 55% of the vote. Got that in Moreno Valley.
Got about 67%
Nice.
support. So now we visited these schools. For example, we visited Armada, where they have a brand new building, two-story building for students.
It's done or it's
12
under
classrooms.
construction?
It's done, it's operating.
Wow.
It's operating, so students are there already. Everything is working fine. Then we visited Serrano, who's having some construction going on there too. Edgemont Elementary School is getting a brand new school on the same site. They demolished the old school. They're having the kids in portables temporarily, and then they're building a brand new
all
school.
because the voters of Moreno Valley were generous.
Most of it is because of the bond. We also use some of the repair maintenance monies that we're sitting in the district, so we're using those for certain purposes too. Moreno Valley High School is getting another building too, and then fields are being remodeled. We're going to have brand new fields, baseball fields, and all that in the background. So we're excited about what's happening in Moreno Valley.
So very often, in order for a school district to be able to obtain state funds, they need to have matching funds.
Correct.
Now, in November, there will be an initiative on the ballot, Prop 51,
Correct.
which is a school construction bond for the entire state.
Correct.
Does the fact that Moreno Valley has its own bond recently passed help if Prop 51 passes?
Oh, absolutely. See, what happened in Moreno Valley, we had a study, a facility study to see what the need was, and we found that we needed about $600 million to remodel everything, or even more. The bond that we were able to pass in last year was $398 million, so we're short.
Okay.
That difference could come from the state bond. So that is why it is important for us to see that the Proposition 51 passes, because that would give us the additional monies that we need.
So let's talk about that, because it is on the ballot.
Correct.
It will need 55%, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, it needs 55% to pass $9 billion.
$9 billion.
It took a long time to get it to the ballot. The governor, I think at this point, is neutral on it.
Correct, yes. Yeah, because the governor has said that he didn't want to incur any more debt.
Right.
So, but Proposition 51 is on the ballot now, and out of the $9 billion, 7 would come to the K-12 system and 2 to the community college. So that's what we're looking for, to pass this bond so that we can continue all those constructions, not just in Moreno Valley, but statewide.
Are you concerned, though, that with Prop 51 on the ballot, as well as Prop 55, which extends Prop 30, not the sales tax, but the tax on the wealthy, plus a tobacco tax, that the voters will feel as if there's so many revenue measures that they may cancel each other out and not receive the necessary votes?
Well, it's different purposes. You know, the construction bond is for construction specifically. The Proposition 30 extension, Proposition 55, allows for more revenue, continuous revenue flow for the normal operations of the school districts. So it's two different purposes there.
Right.
So we need to be careful not to confuse them, because that one is for construction only, can only use for that purpose.
Right.
That's for the remodeling of the buildings, new construction, and all that. And the Proposition 55 will give us that revenue that we need to continue the programs that have been established or reestablished because of the cuts, after the cuts in the budgets.
I want to talk about Prop 58.
Right.
I must say, I am surprised that with just 6-8 weeks to go before the election, we have not heard a lot about Prop 58, which deals with bilingual education.
Yes, yes.
As you remember, in the 90s, the issue of bilingualism and immigration were very prominent in our electoral discussion. Prop 227 passed, which outlawed bilingual education.
Correct.
Now, in the intervening almost 20 years, bilingualism, it appears to me, has become quite popular. You have dual language immersion programs, people realize the benefits of bilingualism, but there's still a sense that you want to make sure that everyone at least speaks the dominant language, which is English.
Right.
So talk to me about Prop 58, which would literally, essentially repeal Prop 227 and allow bilingual education.
Absolutely. Proposition 58 is going to be very beneficial. You know, the passage of Proposition 58 will be very beneficial because we would allow the districts to continue or improving the bilingual education programs, not just bilingual, but multilingual education programs. There's a lot of restrictions now because of 227. So 58 passes, all those restrictions are gone. So now the districts can either continue what they have implemented in the last few years to be able to continue those services to provide students that need a second language. You know, they have to learn the second language.
Our viewers know I'm one of the biggest proponents of bilingualism.
Yes.
I mean, we're raising our daughters to speak Spanish. I'm all about learning a second, even third language.
Right.
I still think, and I'm sure you would agree, most of us believe that everyone, if you're going to have a second language, at least still have that English, because we still are an English dominant society.
Right.
So how do we make sure, if we're not sure what we should feel about Prop 58, that the students that are currently not English dominant, that if Prop 58 passes, they'll be given the skills to be able to speak English with proficiency?
We want to make sure that every student learns English and is proficient in English. But multilingual education would allow our English-speaking students to learn a second or third language. And some of them already do, because we have students bilingual even at the kindergarten level.
Of course.
And so the multilingual education, Prop 58, would open the doors for all kinds of options so that all students learn more than one language.
Does it address the question of students who are not English dominant?
Absolutely.
What does it say, Prop 58?
Absolutely. You can continue the programs that you have established to allow the students to learn the second language, English, or you can go back to the programs that you had in the past that were eliminated with 227, or you can do a combination, whatever is convenient for your students.
Help me out. Why was there this big push to eliminate bilingual education? You know, as I remember, I feel as if folks would say, I don't know if this is true, that, you know, students would arrive from, China or El Salvador, and they'd have their education for 5 years in their home language. Right. Was that true? Was that really happening?
There was a belief that if the student didn't speak English, was not going to be able to learn, which is not
well, that's
true.
Silly.
It's not true.
Yeah,
you know,
silly.
I can learn in Spanish and then translate it in English, and I know what I know anyway. So the limitations, Proposition 28, really put a handicap in all those students that were trying to get to the second language. But the districts did a great job continuing the services one way or the other. They continue helping the students to be able to jump into the second language. So it's been there all along.
Why do you feel as if Prop 58 is important?
It is important, again, because it will eliminate all those restrictions. It would allow the multilingual education. If you want to be successful in this worldwide economy, you have to speak more than one language. And I'm not saying only English and Spanish.
Right,
I'm saying
Mandarin,
English and many other
Portuguese,
languages.
Whatever it is.
Absolutely. And our students are so capable of learning a second and third language, regardless of where they come from, that it would open the doors for them in a way that they can access the international world
and
successfully.
Aside from Prop 58, to get a kid to start learning a second language in kindergarten,
absolutely,
it's with them for life.
It's amazing.
I mean, I started learning my second language in 6th grade. It seems kind of late. You know, I still had a malleable brain, but still, get them when they're young, I think.
And you know, the demographics are so different now as compared to when Proposition 27 was in place. Today we have so many students from so many different countries with so many different languages. So the best thing to do is to open the doors for them to be successful. And this is just one way to do it. You know, allow them to learn second, third language, and they will be successful because they can do it easily.
His name is Jesus Holguin. He is a school board member in Moreno Valley. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're coming to you from the Inland Empire. This is Charter Local Edition.